Wrexham have got off to a flying start to their League One campaign. The Reds currently sit joint top of the division on 10 points. Wrexham have got a genuine chance of getting promoted again, which is absolutely insane to say. Now, Wrexham made some incredible signings in the summer, bringing in players like Ollie Rathbone from Rotherham United, George Dobson from Charlton Athletic, and Arthur Nkonkwo from Arsenal as well. These signings are really strong, and I'm not surprised to see Wrexham near the top of the division. So I think it's time we bring Hollywood and Disney down to the Scott Attempts Gaming channel, as today we are going to rebuild Wrexham with the end goal of winning a Champions League trophy with the Reds. Now, if you do enjoy this content, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help me out. We're trying to get 5k by the end of the year. Let's jump into FC24 and get Wrexham rebuilt. So this is the Wrexham team we have loaded into an FC24, and it is looking pretty strong on paper. However, I am not a fan of the 5 at the back formation, so this will be getting changed. So we've had a mess around with the starting 11, and we've added in some of Wrexham's new signings, and this is how the team is looking on paper, and it looks so good. Now we've added Scar, Dobson and Rathbone to that starting 11. That is absolutely insane. We're going to go with the 4-3-3 holding to give our defence a little bit more protection, meaning in the season 1 transfer window we do need to add some wingers to the club, which we have already started doing off camera, and we're going to be out looking for a right back as well. But genuinely, this default squad is definitely capable of at least getting into the playoffs in season 1, and with the players we're going to be bringing in, I genuinely think we've got a chance automatic for Wrexham this season. Now, unfortunately, in season 1, Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mcalheny are being a bit stingy with their money. They've only given us 3 million. Now, one issue I have identified with this Wrexham squad is there's quite a few players over 30 and a lot of players who are in the prime of their careers who won't actually have much room for development, and there's only actually one player at the football club who is under 20 years of age. Now, in real life, Wrexham did make the signing of Arthur Nkonkwo from Arsenal a permanent deal, so we're going to be making this deal permanent in FC24. And we have brought Nkonkwo to the club for £1 million, and having watched this guy in real life just 2 weeks ago when Bolton took on Wrexham, this man is insane. And in season 1, we have transfer listed quite a few players who I just do not see getting into our team, and this should recuperate some transfer funds to help us improve our starting 11. Now, being a Bolton fan, I know all about how Phil Parkinson, who is the current Wrexham manager, sets up his teams. Typically, a Phil Parkinson side does not like to have much of the ball, and this play style has actually been working really well for Wrexham, evidently as they're second in League One. So we are actually going to go with the counter-attack system. We're going to let the opposition have the ball. It's worked for Phil Parkinson in real life. Hopefully it works for us in FC24. So boys, we have kicked off our transfer window with an absolutely insane loan signing. Now, in real life, Morgan Rogers is incredible, but in FC24 he is only 69 rated and 20 years old, meaning we have managed to bring him in on a 1-year loan from Aston Villa with an optional future fee of 2.85 million. We have absolutely jumped at the chance to make Rogers a Wrexham player, and this is a genuinely excellent signing on paper for us. So we have once again been busy scouring for players to loan to Wrexham FC, and we have found an excellent young right back in Sam Curtis from Sheffield United. He's 17 years old, 62 rated, joins us on a 2-year loan, and we can sign him on a permanent deal for 800 grand at the end of that loan. Now, if you have played a lot of FC24, you will know Sam Curtis has got excellent potential in this game, so this is an excellent pickup. Now, we have changed Luke Bolton from a right wing back to a right winger, and he has shot up to 66 rated, so we are going to give him a chance at being our first choice winger going into season 1. As a 23-year-old and 66 rated, there's a lot of room for improvement with this man. Now, do you know what? Looking at our team, a very tired team, might I add, I'm really happy with how that team is looking going into season 1. I think we've got a really strong team, really well balanced all across the board. We've actually got a really strong bench as well, with multiple options who can come on and impact a game, and that is showing as we have won 5 games out of 5 so far this season, top of the league. I'm actually happy to call that a day in terms of incoming transfers, as I think the squad is looking very strong. However, there has been a few outgoings to bring you up to date before we sim on to the end of season 1. Now, we have had a big clear out of the squad, and that starts with Aaron James, who has joined that team, who I've got no idea how to pronounce, for 100 grand. Sam Dalby has joined Port Vale for 350 grand. Jordan Davis has joined Herenveen on loan for the season. Veteran goalkeeper Mark Howard has joined Lincoln City for 80 grand. Ben Tozer has joined Amorbieta for 300 grand. Max Cleworth will join Pedink-Sport on a season-long loan. Rob Lainton has joined Barrow for 90 grand. Luke Young has joined AC Ajaccio for 400 grand. And Jordan Tunnicliffe will also join Amorbieta for 290 grand. So that is our first transfer window as Wrexham boss done. I think we've made some really smart signings and actually spent no money as well, only bringing in revenue for the club in this window. We've had an excellent start to the season, so I've got really high hopes that we can get promoted in season 1. We're now simulating forward straight through through to the end of the season, and let's see if Wrexham are going to be in the Championship in Season 2. So we've arrived at the end of Season 1 and we have been promoted to the Championship at the first time of asking, finishing second, 1 point behind Championship winning Barnsley. Gutted that we couldn't win the league, boys, but I'm absolutely over the moon that in Season 2 we will be playing Championship football with Wrexham, and that makes it 3 consecutive promotions for the Reds. We had a good run in the FA Cup, getting to the 5th round, where unfortunately Premier League Chelsea beat us 3-2. That is a really good win of ourselves in that competition. Now, before we go any further, there was actually an incoming off camera. Jordan James has joined the club from Birmingham City for just £1 million. The youngster was listed for transfer by Birmingham. I've got no idea why, and we swooped him to bring into the club for £1 million. He's 19-year-old. He's already grown by 3 overalls to 69 rated. This guy could be a superstar for Wrexham. And we did have an outgoing Ryan Barnett who will join Quively Rouen, I think that's how you pronounce that, for 300 grand. So with the addition of James, this is how the team looked that finished second in League One, and it's looking really, really strong, boys. There are some positions that I do want to improve in Season 2, like left back and centre back, which we may even look to loan some players in once again, as that's been working really, really well for us. We will definitely be making Morgan Rogers' loan deal a permanent move for 2.8 million, which again is extremely good business. So definitely in for a left back and a centre back in Season 2. So we scored a stupid amount of goals in the league this season, and Paul Mullin was a big contributor, scoring 37 goals. Morgan Rogers was outstanding as we expected, getting 16 goals and 9 assists, and Luke Bolton really, really impressed me. 15 goals and 12 assists, that's quality. And Stephen Fletcher will be leaving the club when his contract expires, as he's 37-year-old and 56 rated, and he will not be joining us in the Championship. Speaking of the Championship, let's get into Season 2 and get stuck in and try to get promoted once again. So we've arrived in Season 2 and Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mcalheny have been very generous, giving us 12 million to improve the team, and we are wasting absolutely no time at all. We are bringing in 74 rated Morgan Rogers, who's worth 8 million, on a permanent deal for just 2.85 million, which is insane business, boys. Now, Morgan Rogers would only accept a 2-year deal, as he has got massive aspirations of playing in the Premier League, which I really don't blame him, but we have managed to secure him on a permanent deal. And once again, I'm going to tell you, boys, get on the loan to buys in FC24. They are so broken. And after the permanent signing of Rogers, we've got 8 million in the bank, but we are going to be transfer listing a few players. And it's just come to my attention, boys, that we have got absolutely loads of players out of contract at the end of the season, and we're going to have to be really, really selective about who we renew, and whoever does not get a new contract will be listed for transfer. So kicking off Season 1, we are once again making good use of the loan market, as we have loaned in a centre-back from Barcelona, Pau Cabase. He's 17 years old, 67 rated. At the end of the season, we can sign him permanently for just 1.4 million. So after loaning in a centre-back, our attention turns to the left-back position in our squad, and we want to bring in a Welshman from Liverpool, Owen Beck. He's 21 years old, 71 rated, high work rate, and he would be fairly cheap, coming in at 3.7 million at a maximum, and I do feel like this would be a very solid signing. And we have signed Owen Beck for 3.5 million, but once again, he would only sign a 2-year deal, so it's imperative that we get promoted as soon as possible. And that leaves us with just 2 million in the bank. However, we do have some players listed for transfer. If we can recuperate a nice amount of transfer budget, we will look to bring in at least one more player, but if not, that could be our incomings done. So we have had quite a few outgoings in this transfer window, and I am going to run you through them right now. Thomas O'Connor has joined Cyruk Rizespor for 600 grand. Jake Bickerstaff has joined Ruch Charzau for 270 grand. FC24 is doing me no favours here with these teams, I just cannot pronounce them. Billy Waters has joined St Johnstone for 210 grand. Jordan Davis has joined Rodez AF for 450 grand. Ewan O'Connell has joined San Jose Earthquakes for 660 grand. George Evans has joined Adania Demispor for 760 grand. We've loaned out a very high potential young goalkeeper Jesus Marquez to Platense on loan, and we have also sold James Jones to Amorbieta for 350 grand. We have now got £5 million in the bank, and I know exactly what I'm going to do with this money. We are going to think ahead and make Sam Curtis's loan deal permanent. He's currently on a 2-year loan to us from Sheffield United. We can make the deal permanent for 800 grand, and this will save us a little bit of transfer budget next summer. And Sam Curtis joins the club on a 5-year deal for 800 grand, and this is once again another reason why you should be using loan to buys. And after the signings of Kurt Bassett, Curtis, Owen Beck and Morgan Rogers, I think our team is looking much stronger, and I'm really excited heading into Season 2. Now, I don't expect there to be any further incomings or outgoings throughout the rest of this transfer window. If there is any outgoings, they will be loans, so then players will be coming back to the club. So I think there's nothing left to do but simulate forward straight through to the end of Season 2 and see how we got on in the Championship, and surely we can't make it 4 consecutive promotions for Wrexham. So we've arrived at the end of season 2, boys, and it's actually a really impressive season as we have finished 8th in the championship on 73 points. We were just 1 point out of the playoffs, which is just absolutely soul destroying. However, with the right additions, I really feel like we can have a go for automatic promotion in season 3. In the FA Cup, it was once again the 5th round, but this time Coventry City beat us 1-0 to knock us out, which is slightly disappointing. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season 2, and I think we have built the foundations for a promotion push inside in season 3. We have now got Morgan Rogers at 80 rated. It will be so difficult to keep him at the club if we don't go up next season. We have also got some really strong players like Owen Beck and Arthur Nkonku, followed by Dobson and James. The team actually does look pretty strong, boys, but going into season 3, we need to replace Scar at the back as he's 30 years old and 70 rated. We need to bring in a better, younger centre-back to give us a better chance of getting promoted. And if I'm honest, boys, Paul Mullen is now 30 years old and 72 rated. I think it's time to bring a good, young, high potential striker in, and Mullen drops to the bench to become an impact player in season 3. Now, the man who will be dropping to the bench in season 3 was our top scorer, Paul Mullen, with 24 goals, but Morgan Rogers was outstanding this season. He scored 21 goals, got 11 assists, and grew to 80 overall. What a player we have got on our hands. So that is a very, very impressive season 2 in the history books. It's now time to get into season 3 and try to get automatic promotion with Wrexham. So we've arrived in season 3, and we have once again got 12 million in the bank, which I do think we can make work in this window. Now, first order of business is to make Pau Cabasi's loan deal a permanent one from Barcelona. He's 18, 72 rated, and we can make it a permanent deal for just 1.45 million. Absolute no-brainer. He is becoming a permanent resident of the racecourse. And Cabasi joins the club on a 5-year deal, and once again, this is excellent business done by the football club. And boys, we are kicking off season 3 with an absolutely insane loan signing as Paris Brunner has joined the club on a 2-year loan deal. He's 19 years old, 72 rated, and in 2 years time we can make this loan deal permanent for just 3.8 million, which is £1 million below his market value. This is once again a really good use of the loan market. You have to be doing it, boys. 12 years younger than Mullen, but the same overall, and I will bet he will be very close to 80 rated by the end of this season. We are wasting absolutely no time bringing a centre back to the club as well, as we have identified Aurelier Amenda of Granada CF. He's 21 years old, 73 rated, plenty of play styles, low high work rate, 6'4". The guy is a beast, and we can definitely afford him as the max Granada are going to want is 6.5 million, but I'm going to try to make the deal slightly cheaper. And yet more excellent transfer business is done this season as Amenda joins us for just 4.9 million, which I personally think is a steal. After the signings of Brunner and Amenda, that first team is looking much stronger on paper, and even our bench is now starting to look really solid for championship level. Now, after getting our business done early, we've got 3 million left in the bank. We do have some players listed for transfer. If we do recuperate quite a good amount of money for them, we may look to bring in one more player. And boys, a very interesting transfer has just taken place. We had an offer come in for Oliver Rathbone that we just could not turn down. Sheffield United bid 3.2 million for him. He's 28-year-old, 73 rated. I do think we can bring in a better player who's younger with higher potential. So we accepted the offer, and Rathbone has joined the Blades. And we have now got £6 million in the bank to bring in a replacement, but we have got more players listed for transfer. And we have had some really excellent news, boys. We have won our pre-season tournament, adding 2.65 million to our transfer budget, which will go a long way into replacing Oliver Rathbone. Now, boys, the man who I wanted to replace Rathbone was Charlie Patino of Arsenal, but we just couldn't afford him. We tried to get a permanent deal done. No fee could be agreed between the two clubs. However, we did come up with a compromise. We are going to take Charlie Patino on a 12-month loan from Arsenal. He's 21 years old, 75 rated. I really hope we can make the deal permanent next summer. We have got a pre-agreed fee of £10 million. If we can get promoted, I think we can definitely get the deal done. If we do not get promoted this season, I think the permanent deal is completely off the cards. However, we will have an excellent young Premier League midfielder on loan with us for season 3, and he definitely elevates our midfield to that next level. And because we brought in Patino on loan, we do still have 9 million in the bank, and I'm going to use that 9 million to bring in a better right winger than Luke Bolton, as he has just completely stopped growing. Aramoko Dembele has joined us from Herenveen for £5 million. He's 22-year-old, 74 rated. Really excited to use this guy, as when he was at Celtic, he was touted to be the next big thing, and I'm hoping he can become the next big thing at the racecourse. Now, with all the new signings in the side, this is how the team is looking heading into season 3. I think this team has got an excellent chance of making it to the Premier League this season. We've massively improved across the entire pitch, added some real quality young players to the team. And after the signing of Dembele, we're left with 3 million in the bank, which means we're not going to be signing anyone else. And there were 2 further first team outgoings in this window. Luke McNicholas has joined Stade Louisiane for 400 grand, and William Boyle has joined Hull City for 600 grand. All that's now left to do, boys, is simulate forward straight through to the end of season 3, and let's hope we get promoted this season. We've arrived at the end of season 3, and we have done it, boys. We have been promoted to the Premier League with Wrexham as we finish second in the Championship on 92 points, agonisingly close to winning the league once again, the same as what happened in League 1. But it doesn't matter. In season 4, Wrexham will be in the Premier League. What an achievement that is. Now in the FA Cup, it's once again 5th round heartbreak as Middlesbrough knock us out 3-1. I'm really hoping to do better in this competition next season. So this is the team that has taken us into the Premier League, and we have got some genuinely quality players in this team. Rodgers, Beck, Patino and Nkunku, all excellent players. We will absolutely be making Charlie Patino's loan a permanent for £10 million, and we'll also be making Brunner's loan permanent as we go into season 4. So that's a centre midfielder and striker sorted. It's so hard to look at this team and pinpoint where I want to improve in season 4. I do think this squad on its own, it's so young and it's got so much potential that it could stay up without any signings, but obviously we are going to bring some players in. As much as I love our captain George Dobson, he is now 28 years old, 76 rated, and I think the defensive midfielder in this formation is absolutely key, and I really want to bring in an excellent defensive midfielder who's got potential to become world class. But other than that, I'm actually really happy with the team, so I'm pretty okay with spending a big chunk of our transfer budget bringing in a CDM, because let's not forget £15 million are going on bringing in Patino and Brunner on permanent deals. So in terms of stats, our best player this season was Morgan Rodgers, getting 24 goals and 11 assists, growing to 85 rated. He will be one of the best left wingers in the Premier League next season, which will massively help our chances of having a really solid season. And Paris Brunner proving to be an excellent loan signing, 20 goals, 7 assists, really happy with him. Really happy with all the players this season. Let's get into the Premier League, and who knows, this team is excellent, boys. We could finish anywhere. So we have arrived in season 4. We are in the Premier League, and Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mcalheny have pulled the rabbit out the bag. They have given us 74 million to improve our squad, which is massive money. Now, you already know the first order of business for this season. We are absolutely making Charlie Patino's loan permanent, and this is going to cost us £10 million, which I think is an absolute steal. And Charlie Patino is officially ours on a 5-year deal, 80 rated, £10 million, 22-year-old. Get on the loans, boys. I'm going to say it again. And while we are here, boys, we do have Paris Brunner with us for another season. However, we are going to cut it short and make this deal permanent. He is currently worth £29 million, and we are going to pay just £3.85 million for his services. And we have just brought in a 78 rated 20-year-old striker for £3.85 million, which is probably the best bit of business we have done in FC24. So with Patino and Brunner officially being ours, it's time to get to work in bringing in a new CDM to replace Dobson. So whilst we were looking for a central defensive midfielder, boys, I stumbled across Mats Weifer, who is 26-year-old, 84 rated, stats and playstyles perfect. This man is an ideal signing for us going into the Premier League, and his contract is expiring in 11 months time, meaning we can pick him up for his market value of 34.5 million or even slightly less. Boys, the deals we are doing in this rebuild are absolutely insane, and what a deal we have got here, boys. 32 million for Weifer, under his market value. We have done some serious business so far in this window, and after the signing of Weifer, we're left with 19 million. And just looking at the squad, we don't actually have a good backup central midfielder in the squad. So with this 19 million, we are going to go out into the transfer market and find a central midfielder to play backup to Patino and James. And we have identified a man from the Premier League, Nico Paz, currently playing for Newcastle United. A bit more of an attacking midfielder. His 21-year-old, 75 rated, would be a really good backup to our central midfielders, and we can get him for a maximum of 13.9 million, meaning he falls well into our price range, and I think he would make an excellent backup. And Nico Paz joins the club for £11 million. Excellent deal, really solid backup. And that leaves us with £11 million in the bank, which I think doesn't really improve any aspect of our squad, so we're going to save this money for next season. So now that we know there'll be no more incomings in this transfer window. This will be the Wrexham team that takes us into season 4. We have a really strong team on paper. We've got an excellent midfield, a really frightening attacking line, solid defence and a good goalkeeper. I think we'll be nowhere near the relegation zone this season. This team has got a lot of weapons to damage other teams, and heading into the new season we do actually have a pretty strong bench of players like Mullin, Paz and Dobson. All can come on and make a difference, and we also add into the fact this team is very young and they are all still developing at a really good rate. Sky really is the limit for this Wrexham team. So 4 excellent signings, all improve the team massively. We are not planning on sending any players out of the club in this transfer window other than youth players who are being sent out on loan to gain valuable first team minutes. That actually means that we are now simulating forward straight through to the end of season 4. Honestly, we could end up anywhere this season. I'm actually really excited to see how we get on. So we've arrived at the end of season 4, boys, and what a roaring success this season has been, as we have actually finished 4th in the Premier League on 64 points, beating Nottingham Forest to the Champions League by just 2 points. And in season 5, Wrexham will be in the Champions League, which is just mad to think. We had a great season, winning 17 of our games, only losing 8 times. Only Liverpool and Man City lost less games than us this season, which is really encouraging going into season 5. And the FA Cup, we did make the quarter-final, but unfortunately Chelsea beat us 4-1. We are edging closer to a final in that competition as well. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season 4, and we do genuinely have some world-class players in this team like Beck, Rodgers, Brunner, Weifer and Patino. So I'm really not surprised to see that we've made it to the Champions League this season. Now going into season number 5, I think we need to bring in a centre-back to replace Amenda, and we need to bring in a real high-quality goalkeeper to replace Nkunku, just to give us a better chance of succeeding in the Champions League next season. And I feel like bringing a centre-back and a goalkeeper to the club will really help solidify our back line and propel us to the next level on the pitch. In terms of stats, Paris Brunner was our best player this season, getting 25 goals and 7 assists, also growing by 7 overalls to 85 rated. Morgan Rodgers and Dembele both had excellent seasons as well, with Rodgers getting 15 and 10 and Dembele getting 14 and 12. So an absolutely excellent season for Wrexham. We now need to get into season 5, get a centre-back and a goalkeeper through the door, see how we get on in the Champions League. So we have arrived in season 5, and Rob Mcalheny and Ryan Reynolds are not holding back 139 million to improve our squad, meaning we can bring pretty much any goalkeeper and centre-back to the club that we want. So signing number 1 of season 5 will be a centre-back, and we have identified an absolute superstar in Antonio Silva, currently playing for Roma. Now Roma missed out on the Champions League, so I do think we've got a really good chance of signing him. He's 23-year-old, 84 rated, stats and play styles absolutely brilliant, and he is actually pretty affordable, as the max we're going to pay for him is 66 million. I will try and up the magic and get the fee down. I do feel like Silva will be a fantastic addition to our squad, and we get a great deal for Silva as he joins the club for 58.5 million on a 5-year deal. And when it comes to signing a goalkeeper, we have identified the best young goalkeeper in FC24, Guilherme Restes of Villarreal. He's 22-year-old, 84 rated, market value of only 39 million, but Villarreal are going to want almost double that, so we're going to have to put our business head on to get a good deal here. But we can definitely bring this man to the race course, and that is what we will be doing. And Restes joins the club for 52 million on a 5-year contract. With Restes and Silva in the starting lineup, how much stronger does our team actually look on paper? I actually think we are the dark horses in the Champions League this season, and we are going to surprise quite a few teams. Even looking to our bench, we do have options like Amanda, Paz, Dobson and Bolton at a push to bring off the bench and swing a game in our favour. So overall, the squad is actually looking really strong this season. So we've arrived at the end of the transfer window, boys, and this transfer window we have decided to keep our entire squad together. No one's left on loan, no one's left on permanence. We won't be bringing any more players in, so that is our business concluded for season 5. And our Champions League group has been drawn, and do you know what, boys? We've actually got off pretty lightly here, as we've got Atletico Madrid, Slavia Prague and SC Braga. I think this is a very kind group, and do you know what? We should definitely be getting through it. The only way to find out if we do get through it is by simulating forward straight through to the end of season 5, and I'm really hopeful of our chances this season. So we've arrived at the end of season 5, boys, and we have won the Premier League on goal difference, finishing on 73 points, joint with Man City, but a 4-goal swing sees Wrexham take home the Premier League title. That is absolutely insane. We did actually lose 9 times this season, but our 22 wins and 7 draws was enough to get us the title. I'm absolutely buzzing, boys, and Wrexham are the champions of England, and that does mean we are back in the Champions League in season 6. And the FA Cup, we were once again knocked out in the 5th round by Spurs 3-2. We just can't can't seem to get far in this competition. And unfortunately, we did not make the Champions League final as Real Madrid won the El Clasico, but we did make it to the semi-finals, where unfortunately Barcelona had just too much for us, beating us 5-2 over 2 legs. So an unbelievably positive season last season, and looking at our squad, I am not surprised. We've got two of the best players in the world in Paris Brunner and Morgan Rogers up top for us. Patino 89 rated, Weifer and Beck 87 rated, our two centre-backs and goalkeeper 86 rated. This team is absolutely outstanding, and it does beg the question, where do I improve this team in season 6? Well, I want to bring in a new right winger to replace Dembele, and he will drop down to the bench. He's a really good winger, but I do want to bring in another world-class forward to give us some more firepower up top. And then when I look to the bench, boys, I don't actually think our bench is strong enough for a Champions League level side, so I do want to bring in a backup striker in season 6. And our best player this season was Morgan Rogers, who got 30 goals and 15 assists. And why is it whenever I want to replace a player, they always have an excellent season? Dembele got 29 goals and 13 assists, followed by Paris Brunner, who was actually injured for about 10 games. He still got 29 goals. What a player that man is. And we will also say goodbye to two absolute legends at the end of the season. Elliot Lee and Paul Mullin are both retiring. Both been excellent servants with Wrexham, gone all the way from the National League to a Premier League winner with the club, and they are genuine legends of Wrexham FC. So that is season 5 in the history books. What a season it was. Let's get into season 6 and get some more firepower in, try and go that one step further in the Champions League. So we have arrived in season 6, and wow, we have actually got £211 million in the bank, meaning we can have some fun in this window. So I said I wanted to bring a right winger in to replace Dembele. The man we have identified is an absolute joke. Yohan Bakayoko, currently playing for Tottenham Hotspur. He is 88 rated, 25-year-old. His stats are an absolute joke. We have never used him before in FC24, but it's going to cost a massive chunk of our budget, as Spurs are going to want at least 116 million and a maximum of 130 million. But this would be an absolutely incredible signing for Wrexham, and we are definitely bringing him to the club. And we seriously mean business this season, as Bakayoko joins the club for 117 million on a 5-year deal. We kick off season 6 with a very disappointing showing in the Community Shield, as City battered us 3-1, which is really disappointing. And we have made a further signing in the transfer window, bringing in Luke Harris from Fiorentina for 23 million. He's 23-year-old, 79 rated, and he will be a very solid backup to Morgan Rogers this season. And we have made another signing, this time signing a backup striker in Jurgen Strand-Larsen from Athletic Club for 33 million pounds. Really strong backup, 82 rated, really good attacking stats. And if Brunner gets injured again this season, we'll have a very solid deputy waiting in the wings. So only the one signing who goes straight into our first team in this transfer window, and that is Yohan Bakayoko, and the team is now looking absolutely scurrily good heading into season 6, and I'm really excited for this season. And something else that really excites me is look at how strong our bench is now. We've added Harris and Larson to the squad. We have genuinely got so many players on the bench who can come on and change a game. I am really confident we're going to have a very solid season in season 6. After the signings of Bakayoko, Strand-Larsen and Harris, we're left with £29 million, which we're going to leave in the bank for next season. Now our Champions League group has been drawn, and once again FC24 has been kind to us, as we have got Leipzig, Sevilla and Celtic. I think we should have far too much for all three of these sides, and I'm really hoping we can smash on, try and get to the UCL final this season. But there's only one way to find out if we do, and that is by simulating forward straight through to the end of season 6. So we've arrived at the end of season 6, boys, and we have once again won the Premier League, making it back-to-back Premier League titles, finishing on 87 points, 14 points clear of second place Manchester City, only losing 3 games all season. A very dominant showing on the pitch for us this season, and we genuinely are just going from strength to strength. And we have finally managed to win the FA Cup, boys, beating Liverpool 2-0 in the final, finally bringing the FA Cup home to the racecourse. And boys, we have done it. We have reached a Champions League final where we will be taking on Roma. Now in the group stage, it was a very interesting group. We did win 3 and draw 3 of our games, finishing on 12 points, getting through to the knockout stages. Now we did narrowly scrape past Benfica in the round of 16, losing the home leg 3-2, but an away victory 2-1 was enough to see us get through to the quarterfinals, as we win the tie 4-3 over 2 legs. Now in the quarterfinals, we had a very difficult tie with Inter Milan, but our performance in the second leg was outstanding, winning 3-0, winning the tie 4-2 overall. And in the semi-finals, we absolutely blew our sea lens away, winning 5-1 in the away leg, 5-2 overall to take on Roma. Now this is how the team is looking going into the Champions League final, and this is honestly such a strong team. We have got 90 rated Rodgers, Brunner, Patino and Kerbasi, with players like Restes, Bakayoko, Silva, Beck and Curtis all looking amazing. Two very high potential young Welsh players in our team as well in Owen Beck and Jordan James, which I'm really happy about. Bench just speaks for itself. We've got so many options that we can bring off the bench to change the game if we're getting beat in the final. And this is probably one of the strongest and most well-balanced starting 11s we have ever taken into a Champions League final. So in terms of stats, Paris Brunner grew to 93 rated at 23-year-old this season. And he also chipped in with 44 goals and 7 assists, which is insane. Yohan Bakayoko turned out to be an amazing signing, getting 26 goals and 11 assists, followed by Morgan Rodgers, who got 21 and 12, which is really impressive. Truly excellent season for us on the pitch this season. Now, all we have to do is lock in one final time as we head to the San Siro to take on Roma for the Champions League trophy. So here we go, boys. It is Champions League final time where we take on Roma. And in this final, for the first time in ages, it seems, we have actually got a full strength squad to pick from in the final, so hopefully we can go on and get the job done here. That's a nice ball out wide to Beck. He plays in Rodgers. Oh my, that's brilliant from Rodgers, and it's a great tackle. I was expecting that to fly in the net though. We're moving the ball around really nicely so far. Played in to Rodgers, who can make it 1-0, and he makes it 1-0, boys. In the 17th minute, Morgan Rodgers, with the first chance of the game, the first shot of the game, puts the ball into the top corner, and Wrexham are 1-0 up in this final. It's a really nice ball into him by Curtis, and he's completely unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he is never missing from there as he puts the ball right into the top corner. Absolutely brilliant finish. Oh, look at that for defending from Curtis. That's incredible. Brunner's got a lot of pace. Pulls it back. Rodgers. Oh, hit the post. Chance for Beck. Nope. Off the line. Back out to Patino. Denied. Oh, what a save by Vicario. How is it not 2-0? Roma can get forward here with Zolensky. But Curtis is there again. What a performance from that man so far. Oh, what a touch by Bakayoko. That is insane. Oh, it's at the bar. How is it not 2-0? Oh my God, we are going to get made to pay for all these missed chances, aren't we? Whipped in. And Curtis wins the first header. We need to win the second. Boniface, and it's straight at Restes. That's the first time we've really been challenged in this game. And that's going to be half time, boys. 1-0 up. We should be 3 or 4 up, to be fair. Post and the crossbar saving Roma, and a really good goal line clearance. I would really like to get a second goal though in the second half just to kill the tie off. So a couple of substitutions now taking place for us. Yohan Bakayoko and Morgan Rodgers are coming off, and we have brought Karamoko Dembele and Luke Harris on for the last half an hour just to get some fresh legs up front, as the stamina wasn't looking the best for Bakayoko. Not a lot's really happened in this second half, to be fair. Patino Dembele's in there. That's a great ball. Dembele can seal the tie. And he does, boys. What a finish from Karamoko Dembele. An absolutely brilliant ball from Patino. And that, with 15 minutes to go, I'm going to say that is game over. Maybe not quite yet, because Torres is having a go, and he drags the shot just wide. It means me saying game over. Literally 10 seconds later, Roma are in for another chance. And with a little bit of time remaining, I'm actually going to bring a player on who's been with us since day one. George Dobson is coming on for the last 10 minutes, and he has been with us since season 1. Oh no, don't let what? Lukaku! What a save by Restes. I can't believe Lukaku just nearly scored. Boniface from distance, and it's a great save again by Restes, but that is going to be the game, boys. And there goes the full-time whistle, boys. We have won the Champions League with Wrexham in just 6 seasons, which is absolutely incredible. A really dominant first half, followed on by a pretty sloppy and poor second half. We definitely allowed Roma back into the game, but Dembele's goal killed the tie. We are officially the champions of Europe. And lads, what a story. It will be George Dobson, who has been with us since season 1 in the default squad, to lift the trophy for Wrexham. What a story, and Wrexham are the champions of Europe, and that is another rebuild successfully boxed off. I just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, as we are trying to get 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I will see you next week for the last rebuild of FC24.